In lesson number 12, we will cover advanced visualization techniques that you can use on many different charts using pivot tables. And the first example is going to tackle the order quantity, but we are not interested just in the order quantity. We would like to group the numbers in here to see how many orders and what kind of profit we got from a particular order quantity that we set. So as usually, we start by inserting a pivot table, creating the layout of the pivot table, and then we will try to visualize the data and analyze and get also some conclusions. So we place order quantity on rows, and this is a numeric field, so you will see that all of the distinct numbers of the orders that we have, of the orders quantity that we have appear right now. And let's check how many orders we have by calculating the number of rows. This is how we interpret the number of orders, and also the profit that we will place on the values shelf. And right now you will see that we've got some orders which are quite small as regards the quantity that give us a loss, and we would like to highlight this fact and also analyze this information by product category and maybe subcategory. So we can see it's like a group of first three order quantities. So let's try to group those orders by 3. Ending this grouping at 170 maybe is not a good idea, so let's just end up at something around 100 to end the histogram ranges. So let's correct it and end at 100. And you will right now see that the first group is the one we will be mostly focusing on, which is at the moment for the whole database giving us a loss. Now it's a good moment to insert a combo chart, a column line chart, and think how can we visualize the data. In our case, I would like the count of order ID to be placed as the line chart on the secondary axis, and line chart maybe with markers, and my sum of profit could be just a column chart with the left y-axis in there. So we hit OK and confirm the chart we have. At the moment we will turn off all the fields we have in here and also the legend, because the legend will come back to us later in the title of the chart. We can also move the axis labels down not to overlap the elements we have in there, so we will place them low. And now we will add also the chart title, and the most important thing in here is the formatting. So how to format the data to easily distinguish between the categories, but also distinguish the or spot quickly the negative message that comes from this chart that we have a loss. And once again, we can use the invert if negative technique for the column charts to indicate positive, so a profit, and negative, a loss, by using red color. And when analyzing this kind of chart, we will all the time try to spot quickly these red elements on a chart. What is more, we can also think of formatting a bit the gap width. 219% is too much, I think. 75% is right enough for us for the analytical process. In the title of the chart, we can right now include the series that we have. So we have the profit. We will insert in there also the symbols that we use for the chart, and the number of orders by quantity ranges. And this number of orders, because it's blue right now on a chart, might be also indicated by this color in the title, whereas columns that we have for the title might also indicate that we talk about green and red columns for the profit. What is more, we can also highlight this information on the right axis to make it easier for the audience to understand that the right axis belongs to number of orders by adding the blue shape outline and also blue text fill for the right axis. And now you introduce a kind of color coding which makes it easier to read the chart. Now we can start analyzing the data by, for example, filtering the data by using a slicer by product category and subcategory, which describe the products that we have. And one thing that we can quickly spot is that as soon as we start filtering the data, red columns appear and jump out of the chart. But there is another challenge that we need to face. If you start filtering the data too much, you can quite easily see that the ranges of the histogram disappear if there were no orders, and this is not the recommended behavior for us. So it is better for us to make sure all of the labels are always visible, even though the line chart is going to break itself a bit. So we can right click the field settings on the row labels, go to the layout and print, and ask the pivot table to show items with no data all the time. And this is going to make a more consistent view for the data that we have, and we will see that we have also some gaps in the data. And right now we can try to find all of the categories and subcategories that cause us some problems, like the category furniture. We can see some red columns, but the bookcases, the situation is really bad. Chairs, it's rather fine, but tables, as you can see, small order sending small orders is not profitable at all.